Welcome back to Follow the Money. Who's to blame for this terrible economy anyway? Folks at a town hall meeting got an earful from their congressman, Joe Walsh. Take a listen.
Don't blame banks and don't blame the marketplace for the mess we're in right now. I am tired of hearing that crap.
Joining me now is Congressman Joe Walsh. Congressman, you said don't blame the banks. That couldn't have been too popular. Where are you from again? That's right, Illinois, right?
Hey, Eric. Yeah, suburban Chicago. Look, I'm no defender of the banks, the big banks especially. And if I were in Congress a few years ago, I wouldn't have voted to bail them out. We have bailed them out. But come on, they didn't cause this problem. The town that I work in caused this problem, Washington, D.C. And too many folks don't understand that or do understand that, and they're just trying to purposely cause a disruption.
All right, Congressman, you were passionate. I agreed with you. I mean, it's not the look. It's the system. If you didn't like it, then it needed to be fixed. But the problem is, it's our system. It's the best system in the world. You were passionate, but you apologized, sir.
Oh, yes, I apologized then when look, Eric, I do this every week. I come home and have a town hall, at least one or two every weekend that I'm home. And hey, look, you know me, I am a passionate guy.
Sure.
And sometimes I step over the line. When I do, I always try to apologize. Look, I think this president is destroying this country. I don't mean that to be personal because I don't know the man, but I know his policies are. And I think we as a country are better off if we focus on the policies and make it about that.
Congressman, I agree with you. My point was you were passionate, and I agree with you on just about everything you had said there. Let me ask you this, though. I'm watching the Occupy Wall Street. The crowd gets bigger. It gets bigger. They're against crony capitalism. But meanwhile, all I'm seeing is cronyism going on from the White House to the Democrat left, just pushing for more entitlements. Isn't it the same thing? Technically, aren't the Tea Party and Occupy Wall Street fighting the same thing? They just can't focus it in the right direction?
Oh, God, no, Eric, not at all. And I know you don't. You can't believe that. Look, I'll tell you what. Your profession, not you, but the media has been protecting and boosting this Occupy Wall Street stuff ever since it began, and I'm tired of it. It's at the point now where it is attempting to disrupt the American way of life. That's anti-American. Everything this little, and I'm not even going to call it a movement. As far as I'm concerned, it's a well-organized, well-funded effort, I think, by far-left anti-American folks who do want to bring down what this country's all about. And I'll tell you what, Eric, I think the Obama administration, I think a lot of Democrats had their hands on this and put their arms around it when it first started. They encouraged it. And this president, Eric, he's encouraged class warfare. He's encouraged Americans to go at it with other Americans. He's part of this. That's not American and what they advocate.
Congressman, I wasn't trying to say that the Tea Party is anti-American or anti-capitalist. I'm simply saying Tea Party is fighting bigger government, is fighting the crony socialism that's going on in D.C. Occupy Wall Street seems to have a problem with that type of behavior, that ideology, but they're mad at some sort of bad guy that they've decided to put up against the wall, call themselves big Wall Street bankers, when the reality is most of what goes on is facilitated from D.C., from the White House, from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
When you look at what Occupy Wall Street advocates, which is basically some sort of socialist vision where government takes care of everybody, you can't help but think they're misguided. Now, I will say there are probably people in this effort who know exactly what they're doing because, Eric, I think a part of what they're trying to do this year and next is disrupt the American markets and cause sort of a chaos in our electoral system. I really think that's part of what they're trying to do. But look, when you look at what they advocate, I mean, forgive student loans.
I don't know what it is, sir, honestly. Congressman, I know what they're against. I just don't know what they're for. I'm not even joking. I watched Bill Clinton over the weekend say the exact same thing. If President Clinton doesn't know what they're for, how in the world am I supposed to know? There's little,
you know what? Well,
conservative
in
on Fox.
Hey, Eric, in a way, that's a game that President Clinton's playing, and that's a game that the media is playing. Again, not you. I think the media, I think President Obama and President Clinton know exactly what they're for. When this movement first, and I'm not going to call it a movement, when these protests first began, they put out a memorandum of their wish list of 14 to 15 things that they wanted to accomplish. And it was basically a free everything for everybody.
Right.
So, which is not American. And so I think the media does know what they're advocating, but if they admitted that, Eric, they'd be laughed at and the protests would be discredited.
Very good. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. Congressman Joe Walsh from Illinois. Thank you, sir.
Eric, love being with you. Love being with you.